Welcome into the studio. Thought I'd show you this frog drawing I'm currently working on. So that's March 2022, and using Pastelmat paper and PanPastels for the underlayer of this log, this tree trunk with the bark on. It looks very confusing, so to simplify it, I've got some of my Pastelmat paper. You see a little strip of it, and as I'm mixing my colours, I'm just checking it against the reference photo. So my PanPastels themselves are to the left, or sorry, to the right, just off the screen. I'm just dipping the tool into it and then mixing it on just regular printer paper. Now the printer paper is used because what I wanted to do is just mix the colours on there and not hold on to the pastel excessively. So it's pretty much doing the opposite of the Pastelmat paper, which does hold the pastel. So it allows me to blend and mix colours into each other to get just the right tone and colour before I put it to the Pastelmat surface. Now here I'm just using a pastel pencil to outline and show myself where the darker areas are. So all these small little cracks in between all of that beautifully textured bark. Now obviously that tree, that branch looks incredibly complicated, and PanPastels are really superb at quite quickly uncomplicating things, because with the pans all I'm thinking about are the general colours and tonal values on there. So let's jump forward a bit and I can show you a bit more of what I've been working on. Now I could have used one of the other soft PanPastel tools, but I find, you know, these small applicators, they last longer than the knife type tools that you pull that kind of spongy sock over the end of them. These last quite a bit longer, and the tips are really small, so you can still get into all of the little areas. Now the good thing with PanPastels again is you don't use much at all, or at least I don't deliberately. I don't want to fill the tooth of the paper up. As you can see on the reference photo, I got lots and lots of details, textures that need to go on top of this base layer. But here I can really quickly block in the general tone, the general colour, and that will help me, you know, to know where all of these bits are really going to go when I start detailing. If I was, say, starting at the very top here and just detailing it absolutely fully, then working my way down, detailing again and finishing each area off, personally I find that quite confusing because I can't match the colours so easily. I find that I'll probably have 50 pencils out and I'm looking for a colour all the time, whereas this way, if I blend all this and do the underlayer first, I'll have kind of a soft fuzzy version of that tree bark, the tree branch. Then I can put my PanPastels away, put them out to the side, get my pencils back over, and then I've got, say, perhaps 10 pencils that I'll regularly be using as I work my way over all of the branch. So I find that a more logical way and a less confusing way of working. Now as I'm continuing to work my way over the branch, you can see just how thinly I'm applying the PanPastels. You can really still see my lines as well through many areas. And I would also go over this and blend it in, then really push it in with my fingers, clean dry fingers, and that beds that pastel down into the surface and allows me to get more layers on top again. Now of course you don't need to be using PanPastels for this. You could use soft pastel sticks, but be warned, the softer the stick, the more likely you are of filling the tooth of the paper up way too early, too easily, too quickly. Okay, so be aware of that. I rather use harder sticks like Rembrandt or Jackson's just for more control, and those are what I've used for the background around the frog. you could just do this with pastel pencils, and I show on many of my Patreon videos different ways of doing things that, you know, turn out with the same result. So I show lots of videos just using pencils for all of it, or using pans as an underlayer and pencils for details on top, or soft pastels as an underlayer and pencils again for the details on top. So you don't have to go buying lots of supplies. My job is not to go and get you to buy lots of supplies unless you really want to. It is part of the fun, but I like to show ways of doing things with the supplies that you've actually got. I know not everybody's got lots of money to spend on different supplies. Now the frog, that's just, you know, kind of an advanced underlayer so far. I've got all the details to put on top of it, but I didn't want to detail it right up until I've got the branch done, or at least to the same level of completion as the frog. And then I'd want to put that background top section in, so that's all done. Then I'll work the frog over the whole of it again, adding much more refinement, darkening some areas, and definitely lightening and texturizing a lot of the other areas. Then, because I'm right-handed, I work from the frog downwards towards that bottom right corner by texturizing all of that branch and making it, you know, look a lot more realistic, because at this stage that's just an underlayer. Okay, so I don't have any of the real darks in it. That'll come next. Then I'll start to put more texture on there, and then finally I'll put the highlights on top. And here you can see how I said I was going to go over this PanPastel area, just blending it in, bedding it in with my fingers. You see nothing's really moving, but it will allow me to get more layers. So hopefully you've enjoyed this, and I'll see you all on the next video. Just wanted to quickly mention my Patreon channel for those looking for even more in-depth art instruction. It's packed full of pastel videos, oil videos as well, and those videos are being added to new ones every single month. I have videos for the complete beginner that have never done pastels or oils before with just limited supplies, and I take you from the very first blocking in all the way through to the final detailed drawings and paintings. I've also got some really unusual subjects as well, and in all of my videos I always take you through all the details. You see everything I do, how I create my work. But it's not just for beginners, it's also for novices, and I also show the best artwork that I've ever done as well. And this particular elephant video spans 6 hours, so you know you're going to see tons and tons of details, tips and techniques. And as mentioned, I've got lots of oil videos on there too, so there really is something for everybody, and you get access to hundreds of hours worth of videos for just $4. Now over 1,000 members strong. Hope to see you there soon.